50-cent Ferraris, they were rented. Robbie Williams' castle home, it belonged to someone else. MTV Cribs wasn't exactly legit.
And we said that that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, it's all lies.
And nothing shows this better than the episode with Ja Rule. He flexed his 5-bedroom mansion on Star Island in Miami, where he talked about living beside other famous celebrities. The house was so familiar that Ja Rule named each area, calling his courtyard the Open Paradise, which was patrolled by his guard dog Cookie. It was shown in the intro that the property was a rental, but this was assumed to be on a long-term basis, given he knew almost everything about the mansion. However, as it turns out, Ja Rule's house on Cribs was actually a 4-day rental, which was exposed in the most embarrassing way, by lawsuit. Ja Rule paid $46,000 for the 4-day lease, promising the mansion's owner it'd be used as a private home for 8 adults with no video shoots and no loud parties. Well, Ja Rule broke all 3 conditions, shooting his MTV episode whilst having a party with over 600 people. In the process, holes were punched in the walls, furniture and doors were damaged, the driveway somehow cracked, while condoms and syringes were left throughout the house. As a result, Ja Rule and MTV were sued for $1 million, but at least it looked like a house that Ja Rule would live in, as the Yin Yang Twins crib was laughably out of character. The Atlanta gangster rapping duo opened the door revealing the most suburban house, filled with fish tanks, sailing boats, and sea-related artwork.
We waving like the sea. We decorated this ourselves now.
That mansion was definitely decorated by some old white people, not the Yin Yang Twins.
This is clearly just a random old white guy's house that likes to fish and likes boats.
They'd even argue over where they bought appliances and had to improvise names for each of the fish. You can tell the Yin Yang Twins have never been in that house.
This just shows you how important it is for you to understand that many people online are selling you a dream. Be careful about people selling you a false dream. This happens so often. I remember watching Cribs as a young boy and thinking to myself, wait, these houses are great. These houses, I would love to live in a house like that. And that's why they would produce these programs. This is why they produced MTV Cribs. This is why they showed all these famous people and you showed their houses, because you wanted to be like them. That's what these things make you want to do. But what do? They not only make these people relatable to you on so many different levels, they not only make you want to aspire to be like them, they make you want to follow what they do more and more. So Ja Rule, for example, these are all typically individuals that were musicians. So what's that going to encourage you to do? Listen to their music. But what kind of music are they typically producing? Profanity laced, debauchery, all sorts of things which aren't going to help you in the long run. This is why you have to be so mindful. You have to be so guarded. Don't just get carried away with people showing you shiny things. It's great who doesn't want to live in a nice big house? Who doesn't want nice stuff? But there's a way to get to those things. There's the way that the world likes to present to you, likes to package it to you, like we see in Cribs. They have no problem showing you something which is fake, because they don't care. Their interest is just in you seeing something, getting excited and going down that pathway to whatever that leads to. Listening to people like Ja Rule, listening to their music, following and becoming that sort of person, instead of realizing, wait, hold on. He's some womanizer in many of his songs. He's talking about violence and all of this crazy stuff which you wouldn't want your child to be engaging in. You don't want to engage in. You wouldn't want your son or your daughter engaging in it. You wouldn't want your young dependents, your nieces, your nephews, your young family members doing this. You wouldn't want your friends doing this. But somehow we still co-sign their music, their lifestyle, and all of the stuff they do. But then this is the crazy thing. We somehow find ourselves later on down the line wondering why the people that are children, our nieces, our nephews, why they are somehow affected by it, why they're doing the things which the music videos, the movies have been promoting. We need to be better. We need to be able to see the little carrot that they're trying to put in front of us to get us to stay running on the merry-go-round, right? The Ferris wheel. No, we need to be wiser. So when I think back to watching this stuff as a child, I think to myself, wow, this is crazy. Because I wasn't thinking that these guys were living in rentals, not 4-day rentals anyway. I was thinking that these are houses that they bought with the earnings based on the stuff that they were doing. And that's what the people that produced these things wanted you to believe. They wanted you to believe that someone like Ja Rule or any of these other individuals, it's not just him, they mentioned Robbie Williams as well, an actor, right? These people made so much money, they can live in these houses, they can drive these cars. And a lot of this stuff was just a facade. It was fake. It was meant to be fish that baited us in to take the next step, which is to ultimately buy money, to buy something from them, to pay money for something.
Seemed they at least owned the vehicles at the end, as the cars displayed by Bow Wow were rented for the show. He was just 18 years old during his first Cribs appearance, but despite having starred in some high-profile movies, it seemed unrealistic that he could afford a 6-bedroom mansion and a fleet of luxury cars. With his name airbrushed above his bed, it seemed as though Bow Wow at least owned the house, although the luxury vehicles were a little more suspicious.
So you think about it, today we live in the AI age, right, where it makes sense how you could think about, yeah, someone putting a fake name on top of a bed and all this kind of stuff. He's like, they airbrushed it in. Who was thinking that sort of stuff back in the day, 20, 30 years ago? I know I wasn't. And I know it was mainly young, impressionable people like me, right, who were watching MTV Cribs and getting super gassed on it and be like, yeah, I want that stuff. And what do we do when we say we want that stuff? We say we want to become like the people that we're looking at. So we want to become rappers, we want to become musicians, we want to become all these people who are presenting a fake lifestyle, because many of them are, in fact, fake.
Because 2 years later, he'd go on the show again, during which a viewer made an observation. We had MTV Cribs running in the background and watched 21-year-old Bow Wow show off his bachelor pad in Miami, along with his pimped out Bentley, Lamborghini, and Cadillac Escalade. But then we noticed the word Prestige at the bottom of all 3 cars and decided to Google Prestige Rental Cars Miami, and what do you know, there it was. Prestige was the name of the company that Bow Wow rented the cars from, which was likely encouraged by the show, as Birdman also used the service during his appearance. Regardless, people clowned on Bow Wow, stating, ha ha ha, I wonder if he rented the condo too, which by looking at his life was also highly likely. For example, he'd post his Ferrari to his Instagram, writing, take the drop top to the night spot, keep the California in California, we went hard tonight, Grammy weekend, which was then reposted by a car rental company who accidentally exposed our good friend Bow Wow pulling up to the Grammys with our Ferrari California. 1 year later, it was exposed for flexing a rented Hollywood mansion, but the worst example was in 2017, when he'd post this to his Instagram. He showed the private jet he was taking to his concert, yet the very same day this Snapchat went viral. So this guy Lil Bow Wow is on my flight to NY, but on Instagram he posted a picture of a private jet caption traveling to NY today, shaking my head.
You see why it's always important for you to be a person of character and integrity and be truthful, because you can lie and you're going to lie for a certain amount of time and eventually it's going to get found out. So this is why all this stuff is crazy, and this, like, Cribs probably don't care about what Bow Wow was doing. I think he even said they encouraged it. Why? Because by the time people realize what's actually going on, they've already made the money from their programming, all that kind of stuff. It's already done the job. So this is why it's important for us to be present in real time. Because you're not always these people aren't always gonna get exposed there and then. A lot of the time it's gonna come at some point in the future, sometime later. But we don't have to wait until years later for us to realize that we've been had, we were the mark. We can actually learn today and be like, okay, you know what? Maybe this isn't the wise thing to do. Maybe this, like, as much as I'm on social media, let me not fall for the bait. Let me be better, let me be wiser. Let me pursue these things, but in a way which is actually real for me to actually achieve these things.
Turns out Bow Wow's picture of his private jet had been taken from a limo company's website, prompting people to dig even deeper, discovering he'd done this on more than one occasion. It seems his MTV Cribs episode led to years and years of faking luxury, but as mentioned in Bow Wow's expose, 50 Cent had done a similar thing. 50 Cent's episode was the definition of excess. He showed his 19-bedroom, 35-bathroom mansion, which included a squash court, movie theater, recording studio, and its very own nightclub. Equally impressive was his car collection, which included 4 different rare collectible Ferraris, leading him to state,
I know you ain't see these before when you was watching Cribs, because Everybody ain't got these.
Yet it seems 50 Cent didn't have them either. Each Ferrari had little numbers on their windshields, leading to a forum post reading, if you notice the small white numbers in the top left-hand corner of the windshields on the F50 and Enzo, those are the numbers of the cars that were in the Hartford Concorso parade, which was confirmed when the user posted these photos. Another forum member added, it's pretty obvious that they aren't his, because it's a known fact that there's only one yellow Enzo in CT, which was owned by a pretty well-known hedge fund manager. Well, someone else then officially confirmed. The Ferraris are unfortunately not 50 Cent's. He invited my friend over to his house for this, and my friend let him use his cars for the episode, and they were filming some music videos that day as well. The Enzo F50 and 599 all belong to one owner. When 50 Cent later filed for bankruptcy, he'd admit the cars were rented. He'd instead pay off debts by selling his mansion, therefore joining the likes of JoJo, who admitted to doing MTV Cribs while she was actually homeless. JoJo showed MTV through her Cape Cod vacation home, where she supposedly loved spending her summers. It was therefore a little weird that she'd invite her extended family, but she'd reveal the reason for this exactly 10 years later. JoJo was asked about the episode in a Huffington Post interview, to which she'd respond it was so ridiculous. The thing is, we didn't have a home at that point. My mum and I were living out of suitcases and were mostly in hotels. So that was actually my uncle's house on the Cape. That wasn't my house, that wasn't my stuff. I should have balled hard and been like, welcome to my crib, look at how luxurious it is, and I should have rented out a place. But no, I just used my uncle's crib. JoJo further clarified.
So we went to the Cape, which I've never been to the Cape. I never go to the Cape. And we said that that was my house.
Oh, that wasn't your house?
No, that was not my house. We brought in some items that I had. It's all lies.
Should also answer the question,
why even bother doing the episode then?
For the exposure.
And there you have it, guys. This is why certain people have no problem lying to you. They will lie to your face, because for them, it's only about the exposure. It's only about the advertising, the marketing. You see us in this projected light, and because you see us in this particular light, you are going to likely take the step forward. So all I'm saying is, and this is what I'll say as well, there's nothing wrong with renting stuff. People rent stuff all the time. Wealthy people even tell you it's a wise thing to rent. That's not the point. The point is when you present something like it's yours when it really isn't. Like many of these people in these expose are actually being shown to have done. So this is why I see it's crazy, guys. Just don't be that sort of person, because at the end of the day, if you are disciplined, if you continue to take steps, this is what I say to myself and what I say to my family all the time. Let us continue to take wise steps, because eventually we will have a lot of this stuff which is being advertised to you to have now, but to have it now in the wrong way. The enemy always wants to offer you what's yours already at some point in the future, in sometime now, instead of you waiting to be disciplined as to have it some point in the future. Or you think back to the devil tempting Jesus. I'm going to give you all the kingdoms of the earth if you just bow down and worship me now. When Jesus, the moment he's finished on the cross, is going to ascend back on high and reclaim all of the stuff which he set aside for a season. So guys, don't give in. Be disciplined. You will get the results that you want after a certain amount of time. You don't need to succumb to doing what many of these people do today, which is lying, presenting this fake image when they're gonna crumble eventually in the future. Guys, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.